Wow. All right. So, just for those who just popped on one more time, these calls are going to be on Sundays going forward at 4 o'clock. And today we're going to be working with Saint Germain's energy. Many of you probably on the call are in my Starseed Masterclass, and that is a very intense and powerful class where we're creating a starseed grid around the planet. It is my life mission to get 144,000 people vibrating at the vibration of love or above around the earth to support transforming the consciousness into a higher state to help heal the earth and each other. I'm going to be running that class again in early September for those of you who want to get caught up and take that class, and then join us in October for Starseed 2. So I've been doing a lot of work with Saint Germain, preparing for the Starseed class. And one of the things that we did in Starseed 1 was deeply work with the light codes and activating them and receiving light language. And that starts to stimulate and open up access points in the DNA to help us to evolve as a species, and is vitally important in creating a higher consciousness on the planet. And part of doing that work involves working with Saint Germain. So if you've jumped on the call today, it's probably because you love Saint Germain or you're familiar with him. If you're not, Saint Germain is a violet, is a being that lived, you know, in many, many lifetimes, is a very highly evolved and ascended being who's not physically incarnated as far as I know, but I don't know that much. But he holds the space for this violet fire that is extremely powerful. And when you tap into it and invoke it and invite it into your life, it can support transmuting old and stagnant energies, and especially in the process of releasing fear. And so many people are experiencing fear on emotional, physical, and spiritual levels. So as we transmute those lower vibrations into higher ones, that's how we're making a difference. So we're going to do that today. If you're new to this call, how I process my channeling is I close my eyes. I tune in, I feel Raphael. The angel Raphael comes to me quite easily. It's easy for me to access Raphael, comes in and out with ease. My hands are going to move. I'm going to kind of move like this, make some singing sounds, and then Raphael will say hello, and my son who's on the call will say hello back, and then we'll get started. All right. So if everybody's in a good and quiet space, we're going to move into, you know, some activations today and meditations. I'm sure Raphael will have something to say as usual. We'll go from there. All righty. When we come out of it, sometimes I'm a little like out of it myself. And so thank you to everyone who donates to these free calls. I am in deep gratitude for that. And if you need more information and you want to be part of the Starseed community and help raise the consciousness, I will send out information. Okay, here we go. Sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, guys, there's something in my teeth. Wow. Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
hello,
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 hello, hello, hello,
hello.
hello. Ow, ow, It is that we are delighted, as always, to be here and to work with you. And it is that Saint Germain came in, and although he is deeply working with many of you in private as you are processing, releasing, and transmuting energies and spending time in Telos, he is wanting to offer this violet flame vibration and energy to any of those who perhaps are seeking it at this time. For it is of no great surprise that there is a lot of heaviness and density on the planet at this time. And we want to remind you that although sometimes looking out at the sea of what might appear to be darkness, there is a sense of anxiety or fear or sadness as to the future which may hold. But we are wanting you to know that the light quotation that is bombarding the planet by beings of light, such as myself, that are vibrating with love and bringing in harmony to the planet, is coming in droves. And as it is coming in, it is lighting up places of darkness. And as it's doing that, all of the old pain and the trauma and the drama and vibrations and what you might even call karma or energies that have been stagnant in your field, your etheric field, and also even in the cells of your being and deeply bedded in your DNA are surfacing. And as they're surfacing personally and collectively. They're surfacing in your news and in the information in which you are seeing coming at you, but also in your own relationships and your personal experiences. And you may be wondering, why is this all coming up now? And why is it coming to such a head? And why is there so much intensity? And why do I often feel this sense of separation and a deep sense of fear or anxiety? And we're wanting you to know that it is part of the healing process. And as you are willing to take the steps needed in order to heal it within yourself, the reverberation of that vibration of healing permeates and moves through the field, connecting to all that is. And although from the perspective of where it is that you are now, in the idea of the mind, in the willingness to think of solutions in personal and collective problems, which you label to be so, it is that it is not through the mind that the solution shall come, but it is through the heart. And it is through the willingness to follow your heart and continue to align with the vibration of love, with the vibration of forgiveness, with the vibration of integrity, with the vibration and the willingness to do the right thing, with the willingness to see through gratitude the lens of what perhaps are great blessings in your experience, rather through the lens of what it is that you are lacking. And it is a willingness to have complete awareness around your thoughts and your words, your behavior, your truth, and your action. And it is not from the small self that the healing in self or on the planet will occur, but from the higher self, or perhaps you might label or understand, or Saint Germain would speak of it as the I am, that I am presence of the part of self in the remembering of your own divinity, that you are not separate from the divine, but rather that the divine is who you are and that it lives and dwells within. And yet, when one is caught in the drama of life, of the human experience, of decision making, of relationships, of jobs, of work, of finances, sometimes it is easy to get caught in the mind, to get caught in the story and in the fear of what may be or how things shall turn out. And in the processing of that and in the living beyond the presence of the now, there is a rising of fear. And we have been talking a lot lately, and we're not wanting to be repetitive, but although you are aware of the starseed grid that is being built by many of you, you know that there are multiple and infinite grids around the planet, including the one that is is in the vibration of fear. And the reason that we are harping on the vibration of fear is because in the willingness to face it and allow it to have its life and to begin to transmute itself, you begin to elevate beyond it. And as you elevate beyond it, you begin to wipe away the heaviness and the darkness and the remembering as the light begins to shine through. And so it is that Saint Germain's process in this is supporting you with an old and ancient flame. And when you think of it, is the perfect balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, of the blue and the red as it moves together to create this beautiful violet flame of love. And this flame is beyond something you can understand. And although you have been taught in the world in which you were born into this collective thinking that if you do not understand something or see something, that it is not true, that in itself comes from a place of fear and an unwillingness to surrender to something beyond the parameters of the idea of what you think through the small self. And so it is that this flame has been lit beyond times in which you can know, other than moving into the Akashic records and the deep remembering of time lost past, that of the great Lemurian civilizations of Atlantis and so on. And during this time, there was a conscious choice and decision to allow the violet flame to remain lit. And in that, many beings have been holding that vibration for all of you. But what we are asking now is for you to begin to become acquainted with it, to utilize it, to work with it daily, to invoke it daily, to be conscious and aware of it. Because in the willingness and the courage that you find within self to transmute, to release, to distill these stagnant energies, you become lighter and higher in your own vibration, being a guide and support to us where it is that we are, that you may place in front of you a hand to help another in need. And as that occurs together collectively in a unified, conscious way, that you are directing your intention toward love, healing within you and others will occur. And so do not turn your back on one in need. Do not choose to burrow yourself in a hole, but begin to be willing and open, if you are cleared enough to do so, to open to the remembering that in your own clearing, you have the space to be of service. And although many of you are not in a place right now to be of service, other then to service to self and a willingness to love self, to know that you are worthy, to know that you are worthy of love. But others of you have processed beyond that in a willingness to recognize your own divinity, and through that work, have a little extra in your cup to be service to another. And many of those coming into your human experience, perhaps that may appear to be very dense, are aspects of self seeking to be cleared, are aspects of part of self in which contracted in your experience to come into your reality at this time, because you have the awareness and the capability to do so. And so, with that, today we will connect with Saint Germain. And as I have been working with you, beautiful star seeds, and those of you who are here today, you shall travel and move in through your etheric body into the great mountain of Mount Shasta as it begins to open, dropping into the home in which Saint Germain shall meet you. And as he meets you, he will turn the violet flame up from the beneath your feet and through all of the bodies, clearing through disharmony and energies that are discordant and no longer serving you, releasing the density and rising your frequency to a new level. And all that is required from you is a willingness to surrender to this and a willingness to let go of resistance. resistance, and which is a part of the unknown unconscious that may believe on some level that the density, the pain, the fear, the anxiety, whatever it may be, in which is being held, is being there to protect you. And yet it is that in that protection, it is a wall that keeps you from the light shining into the heart. And so if you are open enough to trust and to be willing to receive the blessing of which you will receive today from the violet flame, it shall transmute these lower and denser energies through all quadrants of the body, excelling you into a higher vibration of freedom. For Saint Germain works with the vibration of freedom. And when you think of freedom, you often think of being free or sovereign, different than others, in which you have the capacity to do that in which you are wanting. And yet the freedom in which we are speaking of here is to be free of the mind, to be free of discordant thinking, to be free of the story that runs around and around, to be free of fear and anxiety that grips upon you, and the worry of what will be, and an unwillingness and ability to be where it is that you are now. And so the freedom that will be invoked is that to bring you back to the presence and the remembering of your own divinity that lies and dwells within. And so with that, you may take a moment now to breathe as we invite Saint Germain, as he comes forward with the electronic imprint of the Maltese cross, holding the violet fire within his heart, and a willingness to share it with you in order to release and let go of that which is no longer serving you. Hello.
Hello.
We are wanting you now to close your eyes and to take a nice deep breath all the way in. And when you let go, just let go of any strain or heaviness, fear or anxiety, knowing in this now moment, wherever you are, all is perfect. Taking a nice, beautiful, deep breath in, breathing together collectively in a unified field as you all breathe in now, and you all begin to exhale together, letting go as you are unifying your energies to move into a higher octave and a vibration of love. And in doing so and in closing your eyes, you're wanting to begin to notice that your eyes are becoming heavier and heavier, and that any sounds perhaps that you are listening to are simply there to support you on this journey. And that you can begin now to just drop into the body and to begin to really deeply, deeply relax. And that you have chosen to be here in this now moment to clear old energies in the physical body that are dense, and old energies in the emotional body, and in the spiritual and etheric body, and in your karmic field of all lifetimes up until this present moment in the now. This is an opportunity to swiftly release large amounts of heaviness and density, supporting you, and that when you are finished, feeling lighter and filled with joy and deep gratitude and blessing and a remembering of the I am that I am, remembering of who you are in your divine perfection, that you are simply here for a moment in time in a body with a willingness choice to forget who you really are, which is pure love. And that the remembering of that pure love and that divinity of who you are has brought you to this here and now moment to lift you into a higher frequency. And as you lift into this higher frequency, know you are clearing this field for you, for your family and loved ones, for all of those in your sphere of influence, in your town, your country, and on the earth, into the animal and crystal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and all living beings around this magnificent blue planet that you call home. And as you are breathing now, we want you to begin to imagine that you're going to allow a part of self to begin to float and disconnect from the physical body. This is the higher aspect of you, part of your etheric self beginning to lift out of the body. And as it begins to lift, it is becoming lighter and lighter as it begins to see a light. And this light is so beautiful and so vast. And at the end of the light is a point. And that point is the beginning of a spiral. And this spiral is the universal spiral of love that may move and travel you through all dimensions of light. And as you feel that light becoming open and more expanded and loving, it may begin to even feel blinding. You begin to feel the vibration and the energy of the spiral as you choose to move toward it, and it begins to spin. And as it spins clockwise, you are moving your etheric body with it, and you are beginning to spin clockwise like an upward direction toward the heavens of the etheric realm. And as you are spinning, you are moving through time and space. You begin to move out of the arc field of the earth and its toric field into the higher dimensions as you become closer and closer now to your soul star, opening up a sense of space as you feel light and expanded. As you are floating in the nothingness, you begin to see the darkness and the vastness of the empty space of nothing. And as you begin to travel through it, you begin to speed up as the spiral begins to spin faster and faster as you're moving through the great central sun and into an explosion of light that is sparkling and filled with love in a way you've never felt before. As you're beginning to feel completely embraced in this light, knowing that it is welcoming and unconditionally loving you. Begin to just have an awareness of this love and this brightness of light. And you are just immersed in it, feeling as if you are merging with everything, and everything is you, and you are everything. And in this space, just allow yourself to feel this love for you. And in doing so, you'll begin to see some of the masters starting to appear. Many of them are tall, and they may feel transparent, but yet you know their presence. Their heart is pounding with love. They are vibrating with light and shimmering. They are surrounding you now as they are blessing you. And as they come toward you, they place a hand upon your crown and a hand on your shoulders, a hand on your solar plexus, and a hand on your heart. And the light that is coming out of their hands is so beautiful. and so healing and warm. And you feel the warmth of their love moving through your whole body, your whole being. You're remembering that you have come home now. You've forgotten for a moment about this place, but now you know you're home and that they have you and that they love you. And as they pour this light through their hands into you, you begin to feel lighter and more joyful and freer. And as you look out now, you see the magnificent Master, Saint Germain. And as he moves toward you, he is carrying the violet flame. And he invites you now to come toward him. And he says, come with me, keep walking now as you feel this sense of lightness, as you're moving or floating or walking lightly with him and along a path. And this path is the color of violet and crystal. And there are flowers blooming along this path. And in the distance, you see a magnificent temple shimmering with divine light and crystal. And as you move closer to it, you notice that it has a very large gold door. And this door is open for you. You begin to float and move through the door and into the temple. And you notice that it is in gold and purple everywhere, and that the floor is made of amethyst crystal and it is shimmering, and that there are little twinkling beings of light floating all around. And it is so magical that you are in complete awe. And in this temple, there are many cushions, chairs, in a sense, places to go over and take a place of seat. You might float or feel compelled toward one as it is inviting you. And as you move toward it, you may take your place. And in doing so, you notice all the other beings coming in and also arriving. And you're all smiling and laughing and playing and excited. And as you sit here, Saint Germain asks your permission, and you still have complete and absolute free will. As he comes in now, he shall speak to you. My dear ones, if you are wanting, you may receive the great blessing of the violet flame in this now moment, as I begin to rise it beneath you, as it moves up through and around you. It will begin to clear any feelings or emotions that are discordant, as they are transmuted and cleared instantaneously by the violet flame. Begin to feel as it comes up through and around you. I am expanding it beyond you, so far beyond that as far as you can feel out into your auric field, it is spinning and clearing and transmuting energies that are no longer a part of the vibration you wish to be in. Begin to feel from the bottom of your toe as it begins to move up and clear energies in and around your feet, clearing them from any time you have walked in pain or traveled a long journey. It is moving through your ankles and your calves and your thighs transmuting and letting go of any pain in the physical or emotional body that is caught or stagnant in that part of the body. It is being released in this now moment as it moves up through the hips, where you may carry trauma in the solar plexus or the root chakra, areas of suffering of childhood. It is being released. It is breaking up. As the fire goes up, it begins to break it. And as it cracks, it consumes it and clears it completely. It is no longer there. And it is moving through and clearing all this heavy, unneeded, unwanted energy of past pain and trauma. It is cleared. It is moving up through the kundalini in the back, up the spine, and through this area, clearing and washing away old energies. And I take it now and I spin it inside your solar plexus, clearing any feelings of being disempowered, any energies of shame or guilt, moving up and clearing through. This is no longer carried from this lifetime or any other. It is transmuted through the violet flame, can consume it instantaneously as it moves now up your heart. And it clears any willingness to judge self or feel unworthiness. It's clearing it, transmuting it. Any time that forgiveness could not be found and the heart had been hardened or you forgot to trust, moving through, up and around, clearing the sense of sorrow, any grief in the lungs or pain from those who have passed, moving through and clearing and letting go and transmuting. As it is invoked, it is powerful and it clears it instantaneously, moving up behind the neck and in front. Any time of judgment or gossip, complaint, words that were not in harmony, filled with anger, resentment, jealousy, as it moves, invokes, and clears all of this, allow it to do so. Give it permission from the free will in which you have in your intent that it shall be gone. As it is cleared through all of this, it continues to rise into the brain and into the thoughts and into the criticism and into the harboring of story that is no longer serving you, as it moves and clears and invokes and transmutes this energy, moving up, out and through and into the crown as it bursts out, as a violet flame of fire now hits its peak. It consumes any discordant, dense energy or vibration throughout the physical, emotional, mental, and etheric body. You may sit now in the enjoyment of this invocation of light, clearing, transmuting, and recalibrating you to a state of joy, harmony, and peace, reminding you of who you really are, a clear, sentient being of love. And with that, know that it is so, and so it is, as the flame begins to wind down, spiraling back beneath you. We are in deep gratitude for your willingness to connect with the violet flame, to clear this, in knowing it is cleared for you and all of those who come in contact with you from this day forward, as you are vibrating now with a higher frequency of joy. And with that, you may begin to lift up and begin to see the door as you exit, floating away, light and joyful, laughing and playing, dancing and skipping through the flowers in the meadow, remembering who you are, like a little girl or boy playing in the light. And now that you are lighter and clearer, you see the spiral, and you may begin to move toward it as it spins like a slide, and you spiral back down the spiral, sliding all the way down as you begin to enter to the crown of the head, back into the body of where it is that you are now, knowing that this body here on earth and with the name that you have and the mission that you have to be here is lighter, clearer, happier, filled with joy, aligned with purpose, in synchronicity, filled with abundance, completely healed and ready to open one's heart and self to the mission of love. And so it is. When you are ready, we come back down into the here and now. You know that all is well. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining today and going through that beautiful process. So, everybody drink lots and lots of water, get out in nature, have the best day ever. Maybe go watch a funny movie or laugh or do something fun. And I love you. And for those of you who are going to Mount Shasta, I'll see you there. And we are going to rock this thing, you guys, and make a big difference on the planet. So I love you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I'll see you next Sunday at 4 o'clock East Coast time. All right. I think Casey had to jump off the
Oh,
call.
I'm here. I just allowed the participants to unmute themselves.
Oh, thanks, sweetheart.
Yay, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kelly.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Kelly.
you
So
to Team
much.
Archangel.
You,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Blessings to all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Love, love.
Thank you, Kelly.
Bye.
Love
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you so
Love you,
much. Thank you so
Kelly.
much.
Hi,
Thanks,
John.
guys. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Kelly. Love you.
Thanks. Love
Thank
you.
you, Kelly.
Thank
Love you.
you. So grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody enjoy your day. Much love.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Pretty glasses, Kelly.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank-
All right. I'm going to hang up. All right.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care. Bye, guys.